Now, here's what's interesting, and here's where I think you can see or detect shadow banning, or maybe it's not shadow banning, but I'm very curious about what it is and what causes this. Hello, test 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello, hello. I am John Beckman, Professor John Beckman, Dr. John Beckman, the adorable, deplorable, coming to you live from Southern Command. So I'm doing this new discussion series that I'm going to call Technical Discussions, where I'm going to try to think about the things that are happening and give my quick thoughts on them and the things that I'm interested in. So I have been working with YouTube for about 5 years now, and I've kind of been studying the medium and observing how it reacts to different kinds of videos that I post. So to understand the YouTube algorithm and medium, you need to understand that there's two different types of videos. There's shorts and video. So shorts are 15-second or 60-second videos, and video, quote unquote, videos are anything greater than 60 seconds. So the YouTube algorithm treats these different types of videos very differently. Shorts are heavily favored for growing your channel, so for getting subscribers. So if you're trying to grow your channel, it's essentially like a necessity that you have to make these shorts. And in my experience, a decent short like will get you 1 to 3 followers. If you get like a kind of like a hot one, that'll get you like 10 followers. And my other experience with this is that you have no idea what is going to be good content. You kind of just have to make content for everything, because the things that you would expect would do well oftentimes do not. And the things that you would never expect that you think were the worst things that you ever created do go viral. You got to get out of here because I'm making a video. Thanks. So a lot of people get upset at me because I make these shorts, but it's essential to growing your channel, because YouTube, you can't grow your channel without making shorts. Now, the other type of content is these videos, and the videos is how you get the watch hours. So if you don't have anything more than shorts, you won't get watch time. You won't get watch hours. So shorts are for growing your audience, but videos are for collecting the watch hours. So I've posted a lot of different things, and they have good analytics here on YouTube. And I've kind of watched how the algorithm behaves when you submit videos into it. And I'm interested in this because I'm interested in the shadow banning stuff. So I'm always kind of wondering, like, what would be the patterns in the data that you could see if you were being shadow banned? Because that is one of the arguments with these social media platforms nowadays, is that if one side politically gains control of the medium, they censor the other side. And so my hypothesis is that if you're being shadow banned, you should be able to see impacts of that in the analysis data. So look at this graph. This is from a short that I made where I was painting a Reese's sweatshirt. So I did a painting on a Reese's sweatshirt, which was a time lapse. On the y-axis are views, and on the x-axis is days. So typically what happens when you submit a YouTube, this is my hypothesis, I think. I don't know the code. I can't get into the code. But my hypothesis is that when you submit a video to YouTube, it probably takes that video and does a sampling run where it samples that video to a few different viewers. And then based on the reaction that it draws from those viewers, it gives your video some kind of a ranking of how much to promote. And I suspect that your video is probably always competing against other videos. And so you kind of have to win these battles of drawing people's attention. And if you win these battles, then it probably promotes your video. That's my hypothesis for how the algorithm of the YouTube works. So now to look at the analysis in your videos, there's this gray blob. Okay, so here and here you can see the edges of this gray sort of like blob trajectory. Okay, what this is this is like an average of how your videos typically do. Okay, so essentially in the middle of this block is the average trajectory of all the videos that you have ever submitted to YouTube. Okay, that's what this gray block is showing you. Now, here's what's interesting, and here's where I think you can see or detect shadow banning, or maybe it's not shadow banning, but I'm very curious about what it is and what causes this. Again, look at this video that I thought would be super successful as painting this Reese's shirt. Look at the trajectory of its spread. That's this blue line. Okay. So according to this blue line, when I posted that video was one of the most effective videos I've ever released. And I remember when I first posted that, it got 5 views and 5 likes. So it's immediately like 5 out of 5 people were actually responding to it. That's 100% engagement rate. That's insane. And you can see on the graph that the blue line is to the left of my average video performance. So it's doing very well. Okay. Then all of a sudden, something happens like right here, and all of a sudden it's like a kill switch is activated on your video and it crushes it stops sharing your video. Okay. So my question is whatever happens, what's the trigger? What's the coding trigger that triggers this kill switch to stop sharing your video? And what are the conditions of that trigger? Because that's where the shadow banning could actually occur. And somebody needs to ask YouTube this question and see if they can get clarification from YouTube. So other things that are in the news, Trump VP considerations, essentially the only 2 options it seems like right now are Vivek and Kristi Noem, governor of South Dakota. I say no to Kristi Noem. I say yes to Vivek. I think that's all that needs to be said. Vivek's just the smartest, and he can articulate the things that need to be said effectively. I've never even heard Kristi Noem speak a word. So I'm going to say Vivek for that. I'll be disappointed if it's not Vivek. Other thing that's in the news, this is pretty cool for Alabama. So Alabama's Senator Katie Britt has been appointed to give the State of the Union response. So the Republican response to the State of the Union address. I think that's a good move. I think the Republicans really need to start putting younger faces in front of the party. And we need to get the more senile people out of the picture. I think the world is just so different from what it was 60 years ago that, to be frank, I think it's dangerous to have leaders who are so old. I don't even think that they understand how the world works anymore. Okay, the funny comic for today was next up on Horrible Things to Say. Trump seen with Cobra Tate raising VP speculations. What I'm playing with here is I think it would be very funny if Trump appeared in proximity to Andrew Tate. I think that would be quite funny. And then I think professionally, when Vivek was actually appointed, it would make Vivek look like Vivek had beaten Andrew Tate. So I think that would be a funny play. I think that would be a good play, which would make Vivek look pretty badass. So I'm gonna say they should do that. I think that would be an interesting strategic gambit. Okay, that's it. Have a good day.
As the gates build after time, I shall meet death head on. I shall meet